Hey everyone, welcome along. Welcome to Steelhorse Station. Hi, Cranky and Jason. Great to see you. Hope you're both having a great week. Know who else? A bit confusing in YouTube at the minute. A bit echoey. Oh, that means. Is that better? Really? Just hang on a sec. Working properly. Let's go. Oh, hang on. Maybe that would do it. Let's move the microphone. I wondered why it was felt free and available in front. Is that sounding better now? Right, yes. How about that? If you actually have a directional mic and you put it in the right spot, it works properly. Who knew? So let's go over to the game. And where was I up to? I was just getting things. We just want to finish off the end of the last part of June. And thank you for helping me resolve my incompetence there, gentlemen. So let's just empty out this straw. While that's going, what we might do... And I can assure you I am far from the ablutions location. Sitting in my office. So I've taken one load of piglets to market. Where are we here? We're going this way. As you can see, I've done a little bit of landscaping and put in a couple more crossings. So if we... Now we decided... Oh, I can't remember which ones we wanted to sell at this point. That's the annoying part. You go into here and it doesn't tell you. You go over here and it doesn't tell you other information. Now, so I sold down those ones. So I want to sell down half of those ones or thereabouts. And then we'll wait for the recently born piglets just to get a little bit older. So we'll sell them down next month. So, hey, Scooter, welcome along. Great to see you. Thanks for joining. We are going to then go back to here and select. Now was it the land race? Goodness me. No, it's the black pied. So the black pied at 329, and we want to sell 20 of those. And let's... That makes it a bit easier to get out of here now with a crossing. It's not perfectly smooth, which I figured was fine. But now we can sell some pigs. They're pretty comfortable in the back of the trailer there. They look a bit small, but that's okay. I hope everyone's had a good week. It's been fun here. Nothing much. Everybody's sort of getting back to the normal yearly routine. So work and daughter and her partner have gone back to Brizzy. So things are kind of back to normal. So today's plan is just to get the last of these pigs sold. Take a little bit of a checkpoint where the pig food and things are at, so we just get a sense of how much they're eating. Collect the last bit of that straw. Drop the barley in the silo and roll over the day. And then we can get on with canola. And it'll be the first day in a while that we've actually finished off the day with 5 figures in the bank. So that's a pleasant change. $7,000 for that lot. Or 6.5, 65.83. So that means the 2 loads of pigs paid basically for half the trailer. So that works. Now, in preparing for what's ahead, I've been doing a little bit more tinkering with the map. So there was a regular base game sugar mill on the map. I have swapped it out for... I already had the mod loaded for the extended sugar mill, or whatever it... the sugar mill that produces byproducts. What I managed to figure out how to do after a little bit of poking around and some looking at Farmer Bob videos. Thank you very much, Farmer Bob. Good morning, Jason Rowe. Welcome along. I was able to import the mod into the map and swap it over. So where are we going to park this? Let's just... I'll park it up in our trailer park for now. That'll do. So once I got it sorted, I was moderately pleased with myself. It was one of those activities that did feel like the process was a little bit more complicated than it needed to be, but it was done in the end. It also helped me appreciate why on some mob maps little errors creep through, because there's so many fiddly little things to be done. But yeah, so over here, that's the sugar mill. But now we can buy it. It's now the extended sugar mill, and so I added the price. I also edited the formulas on it because it was a little bit ridiculous. It would have processed our whole crop of sugar beet in a single month, which sounded to me excessive. So basically we need about 7,000 to buy the land and another 81 or so to buy the building, and then that'll give us the ability to produce beet pulp and molasses, which will help with our animal care. And then up here, and I haven't decided what sequence we'll do that in. Up here, we're going to put the grain grist mill so that we can make the grain grist. So, and that's about just under 100 grand. So they're the big things that the money's going to go towards. But the advantage of the sugar mill is we can use our sugar beet, produce sugar, make some money, but also it'll replace that green, the need for that green silo most of the time. We won't have to buy in beet pulp, which struck me as something that was important. It was kind of crazy to be buying beet pulp when we were harvesting sugar beet ourselves. The other thing we'll do on the next game day is cut this grass. As you can see, there's not much left to collect of the straw. And I'm just popping it in the silo. So apart from that, I think everything is in good shape, so to speak. Animals are fed, crops in. Oh, that's the last job to do, isn't it? We've got to put the barley in the silo rather than leave it in the trailer. I figured if I was going to mess with augers, I could do that live on stream so you can see and measure my incompetence directly. And or frustration as we attempt to judge where the top of the silo is in relation to the output on the auger. Having now done it a few times, I've decided that a little more visual cueing help from giants would be appreciated. It's not like they couldn't give you a cone or something that goes green when you're actually in the slot. But there you go. I see a Michigan map dropped overnight. I'm not familiar with that one. Is that a I understand. I'm using a couple on Silver Run Forest, or one really on Silver Run Forest Farm in the video series, and this is the first in a playthrough that I've used. Otherwise, I've tended to use the big placements. And you'll notice if you manage to catch the last Silver Run Forest Farm episode that Jake's finally invested in a proper silo complex, so that'll restrict the fiddly auger stuff to the riding school. I don't know if the lid aligns on the bin that I've got. That could be a defect in the bin. Thank you, Cranky. I am enjoying it. Unexpected difference that I wasn't anticipating is just the challenge and interest in trying to keep it. Okay, I'm with you, Jason. The challenge and interest in trying to keep it different from Griffin. So it's clearly a very different area, and so that the map itself helps. But I'm trying to make a story that fits the locale. So it's good fun. I have been behind the scenes messing with the map, or at least attempting to see where the limits of possibility are for being creative. It's obviously locked down being a DLC map. So, g'day, Scott Free for All. Welcome along. Thank you very much for noticing your splash and having the flexibility to move. Otherwise, I would have been up and no doubt losing out in the battle for audience. So I very much appreciate that. Thank you. Pretty sure everybody in here is already subscribed to Scott, so it's not a problem. It's very easy to miss, and to be honest, I don't use a lot of notifications myself because I get once you sign up for a few, it feels like all you're getting is the spam notifications. So when I'm going to do something, I look for them to see if they're out. And it's not like I'm going to be an FSG anytime soon and announce that I stream, and 5 minutes later 300 people drop what they're doing to watch you for a couple of hours. How did your move go, Scott? Is all settled in? I still get a little a wry smile when I log on in the morning and see that another person discovered the channel. One more sub. Wow. It still amazes me that they trickle in. Oh, moves 17th. Okay, so you're in the opposite side of the equation. You're in the, do I really need to move all this crap? It's inching up, inching up. One of the things that makes me smile is a couple of times I've had the experience that you're in a stream of someone that's much more established and successful in that respect, and they very kindly give you a shout out, and invariably there's one or two people in their community that go, oh yeah, no, I've subbed, and so you can see the sub go on, which is lovely, and then 24 hours later it's gone. And because I've got so few, it's easy to see that they add it on and add it off. Particularly the people that are open to YouTube, who you can see who it is when they sub. It's very funny. It's like, I get it, but you don't need to advertise that you're subbing, because I don't think the person you're advertising to gives a shit. So anyway, okay, that's that job done. Absolutely. Well, if they give us a try, that's great. I just find the whole social media dynamic fascinating. It's kind of, I don't completely get it. It's probably the introvert in me, but I understand that it's part of life. That's kind of Good. Now what am I doing? Not thinking. I need a Tractorio to be able to... What have we got here? We'll use this one. Which... But it never ceases to amaze me what people will say and do online. Right. Now, that's not quite lined up, is it? So let's kind of put you there-ish. It's got to be pretty close up there. Which one am I in? I'm in the Storm. I want to be in this guy. UTX 44. Why do I think that's not the right one? It isn't the right one. I can't get into that one. Is that the idea? I've got to put a tractor on it. There we go. The other interesting thing I observe, just while we're talking about YouTube stuff, so it's like YouTube gives you funny messages for those that don't stream when you, or not funny messages, they give you informational messages about the health of your stream and all those sort of things. And so when I start the stream in the morning, it tells me that it's an excellent connection. And then I put up the countdown banner, and a minute or two later it tells me, oh, you're streaming substandard audio. And it took me a little while to figure out that's because I don't actually have any audio at all on my banner page, quite deliberately. Now let's see. And that as soon as I start the stream proper, audio comes up and away we go. Oh, what's happening here? This is just annoying. Let's move it this way. You need to go over there, and it's going to be pretty close. You got a trigger. Did we decide how to do this before? Oh, that's the one without the grain door, isn't it? I think. What have we got here? Let's go to G. We can overload there. Well, it's kind of working. Well, it was working for a minute. No, well, we're back to excellent connection now. And then the other interesting, because I'm still learning about this whole YouTuber bit, so whoops, obviously doesn't quite like those doors and the edge of that thing. So it's going to take a little while if I do it like this. Of course, to be recognized by YouTube as a YouTuber, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched video. So I'm going to be at 4,000 hours of watched video about 6 months before I get to 1,000 subscribers, I reckon. Which is interesting because I actually thought it might go the other way round. I thought it would take me forever to get to that amount of time. So, who knew? But thank you, everybody. We're almost there. Oh, 500 litres. There you go. Get that out of there. Take you over to the field. I reckon we'll pop you down the side here somewhere, and we may end up going and getting the other one. We know, oops, let's try that one. Oh, no, that one. We know the harvester likes it better when it's on the ground. So you can sit there. And I can't get to the other trailer without giving it a nudge. How strong are we feeling? Because I managed to connect the other tractor in front of it. Just bend the 3-point on the front of this a little bit. Swing the drawbar out. Come on, round you go. Oh, cool. Congratulations. I didn't think live streaming counted it to your viewed hours, so there you go. I was under the impression it was only when people viewed your live stream afterwards that counted, but I never really looked that much into it, to be honest. It's more just, oh, well, it's a metric. I'll just keep making videos and doing the live streams when I can, practicing both, and we'll see what happens. Right, why do you not want to be useful? Can I move that out off there again? It's a straight 4,000 hours of viewed video. So if somebody watches for a minute, you get a minute's worth of credit. If they watch, in the case of my videos, tend to be sort of between 40 and 50 minutes. If they watch the whole lot, then you get up towards an hour's worth of credit. So it just all adds up. You don't really, you get some stats, and as you get more of it, as you get more viewers and more content at clip stages that I don't know if they're documented anywhere, YouTube starts to give you more statistics about what your viewers are doing. So like, and things when you get a good audience. So when I think it was episode 2 of Silver and Forest Farm is, from memory, my best watched. So not only did it get a lot of views, but the people that watched for quite a long time. So that was like a massive spike relative to everything that had gone before. Right, that's everything I think we need to do. Let's just check I haven't forgotten something with the animals. Cows are good. Milk will do next day, I think. Pigs. Now, so the pigs have 19,000 litres in that configuration. We'll see what happens when we roll over, because we have what? That's 80, 90, 115, 125, 145 or so. And the sheepers are also good. So let's go up to the house, roll forward the day. And see what July brings. If you get the pile augers. Okay, that might be a good idea. I was completely clueless, if you recall, when I got the first set, so that's how we ended up. So I did, that one down there is the pile one, it's just too short, isn't it? The third one I've got. I just need a longer version of the third one, and that might replace the one that's in the middle. The other thing I could potentially do, looking at it from up here, is, I'll just finish my thought, is I could potentially do some landscaping, and if I ran the auger across this way, I could almost set it in place and do a road around the barn. And if I was dropping on the ground, I'd have a pile out the back here. That might be a go. And then the main advantage of doing that is I'm not tripping over the auger in the yard. No worries, Scott. Lurk as long as you like. We like lurkers. Lurkers are welcome. So, oh yes, it does. Sorry, I thought it was a so this proved useful. I'm just thinking there's one job we do that this one proved useful for. Oh, if I want to take grain out and not turn it into seed. And there was one other trailer if I wanted to transfer between. I can't remember what it was, so we'll have a look and maybe replace this one next time. Okay, we rolled forward to 8. Let's go and get some more money because we have lots of trees which we can wrong button, send to sell. Honey trees, FM tree sell. You're good to go. Loving that platform, it's working a treat for us. Got a bit of honey there, got some fresh fruit produce. We'll worry about that after. Now we were going to do, oh, let's just see, is the canola ready to harvest? Does not look like it is. Oh yes, Cranky, you didn't see that. I did manage the platform. I was able to follow up, I think it was one of the Jason's suggestions. I was able to steal the one from over here and put it in, and also able to mess slightly with the spawn point for the So I learnt a couple more things about editor for the trees. So they just spawned a little bit higher off the ground so they drop onto the platform, and it works perfectly. So now I can just park the truck at the start of the ramp and it will fill up, or when it comes back from the store there's a reasonable chance it'll partially fill. So that works really well. And I've taken collisions off a couple of things at the market. I figured out how to do that. Now, why does it look like our canola's not ready to harvest? Probably because it's not. Okay, cool. Let's should we take more pigs to market? Let's check in on the pigs. So they ate, what was the number in there? It was about 19,000, was it not? And so a day's worth on 150 pigs is about 15,000 litres. Yowch. And we're out of protein food and energy food again. So before we do anything, we need to feed them up. There's no point selling them with a food deficit. And we can supply both those food groups. The canola will, when we get it off, that's what I was hoping to have today, will provide the protein. But in the meantime, this brewer's grain will do the trick. Yes, as a result of the behind the scenes fun I'm having with this map, I'm keeping alive my flirtation with the idea of actually creating a map. So the next challenge is I'm not going to take that on unless I can confidently produce a couple of buildings. I don't just want to create a map that kind of looks like a confused version of Europe, where all of the existing buildings just get plonked in a fashion that might be landscape stolen from somewhere local to me here. So I need the ability to be able to produce Australian looking buildings, or at least a couple. Mark Haythorne, well, wait, welcome along. Great to have you here. So I need to flirt with Blender and see how much pain it is to express myself in Blender. Let's put that in there. We're getting some money, so sounds like our man arrived at the market. Yes. But of the tools I've looked at, that's kind of seems to be the one that I could get my head around to actually produce some buildings. So we'll start with simple shapes. Can I actually make an object that I can get into a map? So I haven't decided. It'll be something that I need. Yeah, the challenge I have is that the world's moved on a bit. Where are we here? What am I doing? Oh, did I fill that? No, that can't be right. Why am I not able to tip? Tip side right. There we go. I'm not on the trigger, that's why. Yes, many moons ago, I actually did graphics as part of my... Well, that's what we called it back in the 80s, as part of my computer science degree, and I really enjoyed it. Needless to say, the world has moved on a little. You know, we were dealing with basic transformations and sort of line drawings and the like. You know, I vividly remember having to go in, because it was a third year subject, and we had an assignment, but there were only 8 Silicon Graphics workstations on the campus, and of course they were busy all day. There was like 120 folks in my year level, I think. And so trying to get time to do your assignment, and I thought, the only way I'm going to get some time here, because there were communities on campus that, you know, and friends that booked terminals out just by occupation. So I ended up doing my assignment over the course of a week from 2 till 4 a.m. I didn't live far from campus, so it wasn't too much of a hassle, and you're a teenager, so it was easy enough. It was just something you had to do. But that was my graphics flirtation back in the 80s. Right, now we have food to the pigs, so they have all the food groups, and that'll keep them happy for a couple of hours at the rate they consume. We're going to have to buy some more pig food today, no doubt, but that's all right, because we won't have the base group. Yeah, that's always the bit that I struggled with, Mark. I can picture it in my head how I want it to look, but trying to actually translate that's difficult. The other thing that I find is getting my brain, because often I find it feels like things are back to front in order to put them together. But it's something I give a go. The result looks better, and the comfort that I have is the result looks better than if I try and physically create it with my hands. So where I get really frustrated is, you know, handwriting or drawing. I am completely incapable of getting something out of my head and onto the paper. That's why when we renovate the house, my wife does the edges and I colour in the middle with the roller. Now, what is the plan? Well, why don't we mow this piece of grass while I've got a tractor on that over there, I do. So we make a good team in that respect. I do the rough-in activities and anything requiring a fine touch. That's her job. And she does brilliantly at it. I'm also fairly handy at demolition. Doesn't require so much finesse. Dear. Yes, I understand. Now we've probably got some room over here now. We can put the baler under the edge of the shed. I did take up golf briefly when I started to realize that I was becoming retired. And whilst I quite enjoy it, it's really frustrating that my hands won't do what I want. And so, you know, I can line up to strike the ball 10 times and I won't come close to hitting it the same twice in a row. You know, and just a sort of a little tap and you hit it 5 feet past the pin. It's like, that's not what I wanted to do. It's just so frustrating. So needless to say, I don't iron. Now, I seem to be lacking in the mower department, which tends to suggest yeah, I've often ironed. It was one of those things. My mother was allergic to housework, still is, and so I got taught to iron the shirts I needed for work or school pretty early. Well, I can hit the ball okay. That was the really frustrating thing. In a round, I'd probably strike the ball the way I pictured it in my head twice and it'd be brilliant, you know, 240 meters straight down the center. But the trouble was I couldn't tell you walking up to the tee whether that shot was going to be on the cards or not. And I was only doing it a couple of times around. Now I get the practice makes a big difference. I didn't expect to be perfect at it, so I gave it a good year and a half of just trying to get some measure of consistency. But oh no, when I get it right, it's just accidental though. That's the trouble. So we need to do something about the mower thing. So let's see what is in the sales. No mowers. Right. Let's go to our tree. Oh, why did it tell me it got here? I heard it beep to say that it was here. But it wasn't really here. It lied. Let's sell our trees in a minute, maybe. Get you over there. Get rid of that. Oh, because I sent it to the fruit and veg store, you idiot. That would be the problem. If you don't send it to the correct sell point, how on earth could you ever expect it to sell? Potted tree load. Can't reach potted tree. Why do you... Oh, because we're... No, you can reach potted tree. What are you talking about? You're lying. Yeah, seriously? Auto drive, that's not where the course goes. It goes along here. Yes, absolutely, Mark. Perfectly programmed to fail. Right. So, let's head up to here while we're here. What mower are we going to use today? What mower indeed? I don't want to spend a lot of money, but we really should own one. Yes, very appropriate. ID 10T. Now, what have we got in here? We could get a little front mower that's on the way to a pair. We could get this guy. Yeah, that's more than I want to spend. That's ultimately what I'd like. That's the mower head for the... That's the one we should have, I guess. And that goes on the forage. Maybe that's, given the way we're going with the farm, maybe that's the guy we should buy. And we'll just lease the... Because I don't think we can afford the forage, no. And we're not foraging crops this year. How much is heater? Lease. Wow, 5.5 grand's a lot to cut that little field. I think we'll wait until we get that one. We'll oh, that's the mower's different again. Okay. There you go. And we'll have to save up for that one, I think. So that puts us back in. I think we just stay down the end of the market we can afford. And I think we buy one of those. And we lease one of those. How's that sound? That'll do. Oh. Right. Let's go get a Tractorio. Get you off there. We can send you over to the shop to pick that up. Thank you for pointing that out, Cranky. Avoids me making another ID 10T error. Now, I want you to go to vehicle buy sell. One of these days I'll make that road through there two-way. Come back over here and sort out some more trees, which will generate more cash. Well, ultimately, if we have more fields, it'll pay for itself reasonably quickly. I quite like those little self-contained ones. Now, in order to start, you don't load quick enough when you drive in to get off there. So we're all sitting there. That should be now. What's happening here? Why are we not? You're on the auto load side. Get off the platform. So, close collision on the edge there. Now you should load like that. You did before. Now we're going. We'll load you up. We've got a full one of bamboo there. Pleasant View Farms, welcome along. Great to see you. Hope you are well. I'm not sure if you could tell in the Silver Run Forest Farm episode this week, it is the updated gleaner, so I can now fold the ladder up, which does make me feel much better on the road. Let's see, can you get those? See, now you decide you want to load them without touching them. I don't understand. Okay, and we'll get this guy sent off. Our tractor is in position. This guy's not going to get there in time to sell because we might just make it. That's okay, Mark. I am farming it though. I'm not, well, I'm doing a little bit of logging because I've got to make space to farm it, but it is definitely not a logging playthrough. I haven't been anywhere near the sawmill other than to deliver the odd container of stuff. Now, what am I doing? Let's try setting it to the correct sell point this time. Yeah, fair enough. Each to their own. I must say I am enjoying it a lot. And oh, so the other thing that happened, obviously we didn't notice, was our trees grew. We planted these months ago, and when we planted it, we didn't expect that to go there. That's cool. And mine trigger, where's the trigger? I haven't used this for a while. Somewhere around here, there it is. Let's go get that mower. The main thing with Silver Run, for those that aren't watching it, is that Pleasant View Farms very kindly provided me his gleaner harvester, which fits right into the storyline, and along with Alice Chalmers 7010. He sent me a couple of others, but I haven't been able to work those in, but the 7010 and the gleaner work perfectly at the present, so they are very useful around the place. So the other item you sent me was the big Alice, yeah? I can't remember the number. Sorry, I'm not familiar with all the model numbers. Is that the one you're talking about? Pleasant View? The big chunky Alice that I could potentially replace the case with. If that's the one you're talking about, then yes, I have an idea in mind of how it might appear. Yeah, the D21, right. So there's definitely a role for it. It probably is going to enter after harvest because Jake's going to have to pay for that one, and he's got a few other demands on his cash at the minute. So let's put this down and file there. What are you doing? I would really like, is there a mod to move this icon, the tractor icon that's in the top left corner, down to the dashboard that's in the bottom right, so that I can look for all the information about my implements in the one spot? I want to be conditioning, don't I? B. Let's see here. I want conditioned grass. Thank you. Let's go back again. B for that one. G. B. Excellent. Because whilst I know that icons, which more? Oh no, why am I not getting? Okay, I got to turn conditioned on both mowers. Z, no, that's with conditioner, right? And the other one is with conditioner. Right. Oh crap, I'm not conditioned again. They don't look conditioned to me. Where's that? What's it doing? Let's turn off the mower. I'm pretty sure my control B is mapped differently, Mark. I keep meaning to set it up on my side panel and then I screw up. Control plus, you reckon? Let's see. Oh, hang on. I gotta turn it off. If they did, it doesn't work for me. Let's have a look. In the settings. We got anything down here for Maize Plus? Platinum, Kubota, Vermeer. Cut open bales. Maize Plus. Only mixer display settings. Cool. What's going on here? So that should be now set on conditioned for both of them. Right, so if I turn them on, I've turned that one on. Why does that not look like conditioned grass? I'm sure. Let's pick it up and find out. I'm pretty sure I've got Control B set to something else. Mark. Control V I can't speak for. I have not tried that. So let's see. I thought the color I wanted was the center color. Let's see here. And that symbol is... That's grass, wet grass, isn't it? Or cut grass. Yep, that's fresh grass, not conditioned grass. So why is that lying to me? If I press Z now, that should be with... This is actually set opposite. Okay. Now, front one's not on. Okay. We got there in the end, just a little more painful than I would have liked, but never mind. Yeah, I'm sure it's a it's just a convention thing and translation issue. So the way Giants normally do it is they show you what it'll become if you press the button again. But it's kind of like, you know, we're on a colored monitor. Surely you can change the icon in the top corner to show me and give me a color code. Oops. G'day from Oz, Leonie. How are you today? We're having a wonderful summer, which everybody loves to hear about. Hope you're enjoying our little farm sim show. anytime. It's a family-friendly show, so. Yeah, I must say, I thought FSG looked white as a ghost on his stream this week. I don't know if it's the bug he had or the new lights that I think he mentioned he'd put in, but boy, did he look washed out. You missed me getting terribly confused about the settings for the mower and whether we were conditioning the grass or not. As you can, evidenced by the different types we've got sitting down the side there. So we're just getting this done. We might have to roll the clock forward, actually. It's hard yards setting up your own business. It's exciting and exhilarating, especially when you start to get some traction, which it appears that he is. But so much of what he does requires mental energy, and then you've got all the physical stuff that goes with setting up a new business, people to get out and see, and it's just exhausting. I am enjoying it, Scooter. Now let's just see. We'll control V. Control B. No. So my control V and B doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. It did work. It doesn't work on the first press. That's interesting. What about control B? No. Very confused. Yeah, I only caught the last half hour, so if that was an improvement, he certainly seemed happy and enjoying himself. So that was just more how pale he looked. G B, that's better. Fold that up there, back that in there. So once I figured out that the creators of Maize Plus had attempted to give you options that were globally acceptable, i.e. animals are fed in quite different ways all over the world, and so doesn't matter where you come from, you should be able to create a feed combination that works for you. Not that you're intended to do them all. It got a lot clearer to me, and so I stopped trying to do everything, and I just decided, because I'm not a farmer and therefore I didn't start with the knowledge of what to use. It was completely overwhelming to, the first time I looked at this, realistic. No, I can't see it there. And so therefore the idea to make your own and then decide what you've got. The other tool which I found, which is amazingly useful, is this one. So this is just a mod, the animal food overview mod, if you haven't seen it. It's very simple. All it does is give you this one screen, but for every animal type, it tells you what all the options are. And on top of that, if you click on one, on the side, it actually gives you the icons, which I just have senior brain, and I keep forgetting. So it gives me, at a keystroke that I can define, a way to go in and check, okay, the pigs are out of protein feed. What is it that I need to give them? And once I added that in, life got a million times easier. Right. So speaking of which, sheep, do they need sheeps need a little bit of food, but not much. And I reckon we've got a bunch using Mr. Haythornwaite's very useful tool. We've got hay. We've got grass silage. I thought I had conditioned grass somewhere. I wonder if I put conditioned grass in that. I'm pretty sure I put conditioned grass in the silo. I wonder if it's converted to hay. Let's have a look. Get off there. Oh, I know where I need to go to here. Farm supplies production. No, there is 80. So there's 81,000. Oh, very nice. Does that mean you can buy? Hang on, I've missed something here. Like the ability to make your own feed. So, yes, it is. Oh, actually, I don't know the answer to that question, Jason. It might be in the Lua script. In fact, I'm almost certain it's in the Lua script because it applies to all of the feed mixer pieces of equipment. And you get key choices, key bindings to change that menu. Right. So what we determined is that I do have conditioned grass in here, which is interesting. It is a mixer wagon recipe, but it's available for all mixer wagons. So I think it's in the script for Maize Plus. Now. Okay, so that's interesting because I don't know if you noticed that mark. So Omatana's silo production thingy there allows you the ability to take out its inputs, but its inputs don't quite reasonably don't show in your stock check. So I do have conditioned grass. And just to test, we will go and make sure I can actually take the conditioned grass out of there before I go and put more in it. I know I took straw out the other day. Fertilizer, hay, conditioned grass. I can take out the conditioned grass, right. I won't take out the conditioned grass because we've got buckets of it. So does 50,000K mean that you can buy 2 coffees, or because I think that was the answer you gave me when I asked you last time how lucrative modding was, or is it up the ante to, you know, lunch for yourself at a takeaway or lunch at a high street restaurant, or kind of what terrain you're in? Now we've got to be very careful here because that happens. Let's try and pick up the grass first, because it's gonna, neat feature of Maize Plus is as soon as you try and put another substance into it, throws away everything you've got, like so. So you can upgrade your coffee expectations. I should really row this up. But do I have... Did I return the Vermeer? Oh, I think I did. We need a cheap rowing implement, but by the time I stuff around and get it, I could have picked this lot up, so we'll do it the hard way. Be very careful of those little spots there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, that's useful. I can't remember if balers misbehave on here as well. We might try that in just a sec when we get back up there. But I hadn't encountered that behavior with forage wagons before. It just kept it and switched over the type, whereas here it throws it away, which had me flummoxed a bit at first. See what happens. I've got a baler right there. Don't mind kicking a bale out if that gets that infected product off the field. Right, so... Oh, you've actually got a full bale of straw sitting in there. Let's get rid of you for the minute. So there's the wet grass. And that's interesting. So this holds on to the type. It continues to scoop it up. So this is a different behavior again. So I've been picking up wet grass. Now I'm picking up conditioned grass, but it's still treating it as wet grass. So I need to go back and get the rest of that wet grass. You reckon it's a balance issue? I didn't have that experience with the straw, but let's see. Let's try and get all the wet grass off here first. How about that? I'm actually going to get a whole darn bale. Couple little spots in there. And we're full. Get out of the way. Goodness, can't drive to save myself here. So I reckon you're giving it credit for being smarter than it is, because I don't know how it would maintain two separate balances. That would suggest that it's capable of registering two types at a time, and I don't think it is. So I think it's just, in this case, it's decided it's got wet grass, and that's what it's going with. Well, we'll see in a tick, because I've almost picked up I've had them switch, but usually it switches as pretty quickly after you go over the new type. So that's why I'm saying this is a different behavior again to what I'm experienced. Switch now. Let's get some conditioned grass. Yep, there you go. You guys are correct. I stand corrected. Well done. It was something more like this behaviour that I was expecting out of the forage wagon rather than it throwing it away. We might as well get a full bale here and make sure I've picked up all that infected product. So yes, we are now properly conditioned. I can't see any more. That's important. I like to know how things work. There was a really interesting question, if you're that way inclined, for there's another little patch over there on the Giants forum this week. Somebody's working on some greenhouse mods. So I know now if I make this mistake, I can tidy up my mess. Somebody's working on some greenhouse mods and is introducing more growth stages, which is fair enough, and they've done their textures and the like. But the question was, okay, so how do he's loaded them in, and eventually his greenhouse goes through all the stages, but it takes 2 years, and he can't figure out where to tell the game how long he wants each, or when the growth stages should roll over. Which sounds like a really simple question until you go looking for it, and you can find plenty of places where the stages are defined, and there's appears to be a lure call, but it's not obvious how you should set that up. So it's quite interesting. Okay, that'll do with the bailoring. Thanks, Scott. Great to have you along. Hopefully see you in your stream a little bit later on. Right. It's not possible. So not possible to change the timings. Is that the... see, it looks like he's achieved it, but it appeared to me from his description of the symptom he was observing that by having the extra growth stages, it's decided that the plant was a tree and dealt with it accordingly. But I could be wrong. I didn't know enough to want to comment. One of the things I've been messing around with a little bit, and I'm not even Is there a lure shell template available that has the functions to get the mod loaded? Okay. I do not know the answer to that question, Scooter. Yeah, what I was saying is I've been messing around with a concept to make sheep shearable, at least the mechanics of how that works. So rather than you have a sheep pen and it produces wool every month. Giant stocks. Oh, good. Now there's the understatement of the century. Their developers wouldn't have held on to many jobs in shops I ran, that's for sure. I'm sure they're good, or fair at least coders. They're just, there's disciplines and standards, which is what stops so many talented small businesses becoming big businesses. So the way I've kind of mechanistically been thinking about my sheep without having to write seriously complicated stuff, specialty code, is almost like your sheep generate a token, but the tokens accumulate hidden behind the scenes rather than popping out, and you have to take the sheep and it sucks the tokens along with them to a shearing shed every 9 months in order to get the wool to appear. That's kind of the kludgy concept I have bouncing around in my head. Yeah, turning circle of the Queen Mary. Let's go the other way. Now, I've probably got a guy waiting at the gate. Yeah, there you go. That always suddenly thought, why is my money going down? Get off there. I have to wait till you open again. If I ever do an Australian map, there's every chance it won't be going to console, and so it may not even go to Giants, and so therefore it will absolutely have a butcher. Probably an abattoir even. Oh, get on there. If you're in range of the thing, it won't hold. It's very annoying. I'll put it on later. We can send the truck back without it for now. Come on, get out of the way. I'm not deliberately dropping it, that's just how it works. Beached. Get off there. The telehandler is there. It's on the other side. I just was lazy. I use the it's got a pallet fork on it at the minute. I use it for when I empty the curtain cider, and that works quite well. So what I've done over here, I mean, I could change the auto drive course so that it comes in, but I like the idea that it goes in through the gate. So you'll remember that that stop sign goes west all the time. Like it's the first casualty of bringing the curtain cider in. Well, now it's not. So I fixed that. I can't. It doesn't matter that it stays there. We've got one to go and get in the yard, and then I'll load both of them up to come back. But thanks for... I don't want to go to tree cell. I want to go to potted tree load. Absolutely they are. Well, it's kind of bizarre to me that given how much sausage is a part of the German lifestyle and psyche, that there's no ability in game to produce Wurst of any description. It just makes no sense to me. And the nonsense that's trotted out about how it would affect their game rating. Yeah, well, but that's not true. Mark Taylor, welcome along. No beer or wine is covered by legislation in lots of countries as to age limits. The sale of meat products, with the exception of a handful of Middle Eastern countries and India, is not affected at all by age. So it's hard to imagine how it would attract a different rating if you had a bland building that took livestock as an input and produced crates of something as an output. But there we go. Now we need to go forward in time. How are our pigs doing? They are back to full health. No, it's a legal thing. If you, it's got to do with different countries' laws on responsible service of and advertising of alcohol. So in Australia, for instance, you can't advertise alcohol products at certain times of the day. Whereas you can advertise gambling all day, it appears, because the gaming industry donates more money politically than the alcohol industry. Go figure. So we want to sell some more. Oh, I completely agree, Jason. It's just like, and that's where, without being on the inside of Giants, and because they're not very communicative on some of this stuff, you don't actually know what the story is. All you've got is a whole bunch of people on the internet speculating on their latest thought as to what it might be. So could be as simple as, you know, the founders of Giants are teetotalers and it's against their religion. Cool. I've seen businesses founded on less than that in the past. So we shall take some more pigulets to market just to reduce the demand on food. Where are we up to? 9:45. Goodness, time has flown today, even though we haven't actually done the canola. So I agree for alcohol. I don't understand the logic for meat products, because that's not subject. If they showed the process of butchering, maybe, because it would be considered violent. But to have a building that turns a cow without showing anything, like, you know, cows go in one side and a box of sausages come out the other. I can't see how that would attract the rating standards people attention in any way, shape or form. Yeah, I've seen that written a bunch of times, but it doesn't make any sense to me because there's plenty of children's books that cover that topic. In all languages. What are we trying to do? Yeah, trying to find out why I don't have a trigger. There it is. Now we want these ones. So let's select 20 of those. And we can take you up and sell you off. Righty-ho. Okay, where are we stuck again? Ah, right there. You're not really. Daylight. There's daylight through there. So does anyone, the question I asked a while ago now, the Michigan map that's come out, been released overnight, is that a brand new map or is that a redone FS19 or earlier version? The only thing I noticed about it is it sure is flat. Righty-ho, we can select you and sell. These should only be about half what we want. TF, oh okay, that's the trailer. $4,000, that's all right. I'm the same, Mark, so hence my question. I'm guessing from the silence it probably means it's new, because I reckon there's enough people in, someone would have piped up and said, I know that came from before, so that's fair enough. I'm not sure if I'll look at it. My plan for the first stream of next week is to go back to the Oaks and continue to develop the little storyline of our out of luck family that's got some land and some older small equipment, and they're going to try and get things organized with a mix of contracting and actually getting some crops into their own fields. So we'll see how that goes. Heavy emphasis on a grass products business. That looks quite good with the trees there. They fitted in fairly nicely. So let's do one more load of those pigs. Oops. Which, now I got to remember which ones I did last time, which I can't remember, and it doesn't tell me. So I've got to go in there, and I can see that I have 35 of the land race left. So that's the ones we want to sell 20 of, isn't it? Yes. The land race at 191. Select 20. There we go. And now when we go into here, what we should see. So they've got 3 months to go. They've got 2 months to go. They're still in puberty. They're still in puberty. 2 months and 3 months. So we won't get any more pigs next month. Then we'll get a whole heap. We'll go into overstocking the following month. And the decision we can potentially make is to, by 2 months' time, we'll be up near $1,000 for our originals, which is kind of my notional objective. And we might sell the originals, so we'll see what happens. Right ho. When I read your comment, the print's a bit small, and I read it as, are you running the animal mod that gives you litres of pigs instead of just one offspring? That's interesting, Cranky. So yes, I am. I haven't got it handy. So the mod gives you a page, an XML page to that it uses for the litter sizes, and I took that. Oops. I left that be for cows and sheep. And so the answer to that question, Jason Rowe, is that they don't have a the suitable for kids rating. Then they're mature audiences or adults only or whatever the. But there are a bunch of others which I would have the same similar question about. Anyway, not for us to get hung up on here. We're not going to change it, that's for sure. So the litters side of things, thanks for looking that up, Cranky. Very helpful. The so I can remember the numbers off cows. Cows was a 1% chance of no births, 98% chance of one offspring, and a 1% chance of two offspring. Sheep I can't remember, and the pig one struck me as, whilst it may have been realistic, I think it was from 9 to 13 offspring was the setting that it came with. I just did the math and thought every 4 months you blow out of the water. It would completely break the economics of pigs and its usage. So I halved that. So our litter sizes are 20% chance for 4 pigs, 20% for 5, 6, 7, and 8, and that's how we've implemented it. Right, that's enough pigs sold for now. I don't want to take any more product to market. We will definitely get to the canola next time. What else do we need to do down there? That's more, whoops, field work oriented. We need to empty the grass we've collected. Oh, we could run a mulcher across here too. Rightio. How much more have we got to pick up? Not much. You look like you need some fuel and some maintenance as well. So what we'll do a couple more strips up here of collection, and then because we've got cash in the bank for the change, we're almost up. By the time I sell the rest of the produce, which I'll do between streams, up there in the garden centre, we'll be able to the $75,000 mower. Rear mower had the swath option on it. Nova something. That was these A10 cross flows. That combination gives you the swathing, but I just didn't want to spend that much money. Ultimately, we'll grab that Fort Trip mower. Cranky seemed to think it was a good one, so I'm very happy to go on that basis, and it fits with the equipment profile of the farm that we're developing, so that will work. Frankie, do you know if with that mower I can forage a grain crop? Or do I actually need the portrait forage harvester? I mean, I intend to get the portrait forage harvester. It's just more a question to help me develop sequence. We've got the header for the forage harvester. You'd need the forage harvester. Okay, cool. We will definitely do that, because ultimately we'll have we'll make whatever the whole crop silage. We'll give that a whirl when we get another silage pit sorted. We'll ultimately have a cornfield that we forage as well as one that we take the corn off, and then those aren't far away now that we're sort of just about got our big cash calls under control. Our next blocks of land will take us in that sort of direction. Does anyone have any suggestions for, given that if you've looked at the stream that I began on the Oaks, and I understand if you didn't because I'm streaming it on a Monday night, but I'm kind of going for fitting in with the English countryside, and as we set up this sort of rundown grass business equipment, I need a couple of sizable silage bunkers that would fit into that countryside, along with a couple of I really like the Lancy Boy sheds, but I'm actually looking for a couple more rundown ones. If anybody has any recommendations, that would be much appreciated. I'll do some hunting around, because I will set a couple of things up before the next one. Which will be Monday morning for the UK and US. Very early for the US, of course. Monday evening, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be back on here for 2 sessions as normally scheduled. Well, we're getting pretty close to having this picked up. Doing it the hard way, so to speak. Should get it all in the trailer, so that'll be good. Run up, top up the sheep, and thank you. I have actually set up a Discord channel. I don't... Oh, that'd be really handy. I was quite surprised at how few vehicle choices there really were. It's kind of like if you want a Defender or a Land Rover, you got a few choices. So I was kind of I have in my mind kind of an old Bedford truck, or you know, one of those is it Ford Escort utility vans? That's something along those sort of lines. It struck me this sort of vehicle that our family might tool around in. You know, fairly beaten up. Okay, 65,000 up and down, and that'll be enough for this one. Hope that patch I didn't cut isn't offending too many people. Just don't look at it, it'll grow again soon. Should turn the fence off, would probably be a good idea. Okay, turn that off. Let's go tip this into the sheep. And that was the other thing I've got to do. Take the milk, I'll do that between streams. We're over the allotted hour. Don't apologise at all. I forgot about that. Everybody should go to Scott. I'll finish up here and I'll be there shortly. Thanks very much for coming in, folks. Much appreciated. Catch you next time. Oop, stuck on the edge. Come on. You can do it. Come on, let's burn out those back tyres getting up the last little bit. Thank you, everyone. Let's just pour this in here and I'll sign off. Oh, some at the wrong. Goodness me. I'm thinking about too many things at once. And I'm stuck. No. Come on. Come on. That's a good place to stop. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. See ya.